We might already know the starter trio for Pokemon Legends Galar, and honestly, it makes way more sense than it probably should. Between hidden clues inside Pokemon Legends ZA, brand new leaks connecting directly to Gen 10, and a pattern Game Freak has quietly created across both Legends games, Snivy, Litten, and Popplio are looking like our new starter trio. Let's break down everything we know and everything that's been leaked. What's going on, guys? It's Dan or aDrive here, bringing you guys a brand new leak breakdown video. We've got a juicy one today. We're talking Pokemon Legends Galar, which has now been referenced in Legends ZA and in the massive Terra Leak 2.0 drop. And based on patterns, lore, and leaks, Game Freak may have already revealed the 3 starters for the next Legends game. So hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Help us get to 1 million subscribers, and let's dive in for what I am super excited for, Legends Galar starters. Let's start with the foundation. Why do people think the next Legends game is set in Galar? Well, Legends ZA practically shoves hints in your face. There's multiple Galarian Pokemon in ZA, including Slowpoke, Stunfisk, and the DLC is going to feature Mr. Mime and Meowth. The NPC dialogue explicitly mentions Galar, Galarian cooking, craftsmanship, people traveling between Kalos and Galar, cultural influence from Galar, cross-cultural trade and traditions, and comments about distant lands where giants once roamed. This is a direct tie-in to Gigantamaxing. It's not hard to see that Kalos and Galar are geographically tied as well. If Legends Arceus tease Kalos and Legends ZA takes place in Kalos, then Legends ZA teasing Galar feels very intentional. Kalos equals France, Galar equals UK, they are literal neighbors. Galar is legitimately the next continuation of the Legends cycle, and it's proved even further in the Terra Leak. This massive leak has provided us so much context for Gen 10 and beyond, has confirmed a new Legends game is in the works, and boy oh boy am I so excited for it. If you haven't seen my Gen 10 breakdown, you can find a link in the description below, but we covered it on the channel recently, and there's a lot of really cool stuff to talk about there. But according to the leak, this game is going to be set in ancient Galar, and it's going to take place over 1,000 years in the past. The story will revolve around facing giant Dynamax Pokemon, but without Pokeballs. This actually takes place before Pokeballs were even made. This lines up perfectly with Galar's legendary lore and the Darkest Day, of course. But the truth is, all in all, Game Freak has revealed a pattern to us that we cannot be blind to see. If you compare the starter choices from both Legends games, you'll see that Legends Arceus had both Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott. Rowlet being a Gen 7 Pokemon, Cyndaquil being a Gen 2 Pokemon, and Oshawott being a Generation 5 Pokemon. Legends ZA flipped things up a little bit upside down with Chikorita as a Gen 2 Pokemon, Totodile as another Gen 2 Pokemon, and Tepig as a Generation 5 Pokemon. This means that between Legends Arceus and Legends ZA, that both Totodile, Cyndaquil, and Chikorita in Generation 2 have been completed. However, there are still some standouts left from Generation 7 and Generation 5 to complete those trios. That means there's just 3 Pokemon remaining to fit those trios. Gen 5 starter Snivy, the Grass-type starter, and Gen 7 starters Litten and Popplio. The next trio practically picks itself. Legends ZA also showed Game Freak doesn't mind using 2 starters from the same generation by giving us both Totodile and Chikorita together. Our most likely trio going into Pokemon Legends Galar is none other than Snivy, your grass starter. This is the only Gen 5 starter not used in a Legends game. Completing trios is clearly a design priority, and Snivy fits the ancient Galar's medieval aesthetic. I could see this fitting in so perfectly into an ancient Galar region. Superior could even receive a royal or knightly G-Max form. That could be very neat. Litten makes perfect sense as the fire starter because it completes the missing Gen 7 starter pair with Popplio, who we'll get to. Incineroar is insanely popular. This is an opportunity for them to crush it by releasing a new form and Gigantamax for a Pokemon that is beloved. Galar's real-world inspiration in the UK is heavily sports-driven, and Incineroar, being a wrestling-themed mascot, could fit in perfectly in the region. A wrestling-themed ancient form would go nuts for Incineroar, and there's a lot of opportunities for them to explore what this could look like. And last but certainly not least is Popplio as your water starter, which would round out the Generation 7 Pokemon. Primarina's siren/performer DNA matches Celtic and British folklore, and it could actually be really sick for a candidate there. It fits the ancient Galar's mythical tone, and it would ultimately complete the Gen 7 trio introduced by Rowlet and Arceus. So these 3 starters seem to be the perfect fit for a Legends Galar game. And ultimately, none of them have Gigantamax forms yet, opening the door for a perfect opportunity for them to be given Gigantamax forms and maybe even new regional forms to complete the starter trios in the Legends game and ultimately uplift these Pokemon in a brand new way. It seems pretty clear to me that Gigantamax is going to be the resounding theme and prevailing feature in a Legends Galar game. It was very cool to see them go back to Mega Evolution in Kalos here with Legends ZA, and we saw that Legends Arceus focused heavily on regional forms and evolutions. But Legends Galar will open the door once again for Gigantamaxing and Dynamaxing. Imagine Gigantamax Superior as an armored serpent, or Gigantamax Incineroar as a crazy wrestling monster. And I could see Primarina being a very, very epic cosmic opera siren. A lot of opportunities there to explore these Pokemon in a new way as the starters of Pokemon Legends Galar. Putting this all together, we've got Legends ZA heavily referencing Galar. We've got the leak stating that Galar is coming as the next Legends game, which I can't express my excitement enough. I love the Legends series, and I love the idea of going back in time to play Pokemon. That's why Arceus was so awesome to me. I would much prefer that setting, so I'm very excited about that. Snivy completing the Generation 5 trio, while Litten and Popplio aim to complete the Generation 7 trio. They fit in perfectly like a puzzle piece. None of them have Gigantamax forms, and the Legends games are aiming to complete older starter trios. There's a lot of popularity here for them to line everything up and nail it perfectly heading into Legends Galar. That's everything we know so far about Pokemon Legends Galar and my best pick for what these starters are going to be going into this title. I, for one, am very excited, and while I'm not entirely sure on the timelines, we're anticipating Generation 10 to come out next year in 2026. It's possible that Legends Galar could come after that in 2027, which could be very exciting, maybe even 2028. It might be a little while, but I am so excited for another Legends game, and I'm very excited that they are putting an emphasis and focus on the Legends games in the franchise, because as I said, for me, playing Legends Arceus was my peak Pokemon experience, and honestly, I would love to kind of be able to go back to the past once again in the Pokemon universe and kind of build things up from the ground floor. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Help us get 1 million subscribers on the channel, and let me know if you agree or disagree with our starter choices for Pokemon Legends Galar. If you have a thought, let me know in the comments down below, and thank you so much for watching this one. I'll see you on the next.